Y'all, I haven't straightened my hair in so long. Can we just appreciate, like, how long it's getting? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Mazden. Thank you for joining us today. So today's video, if you can't tell by the title, is going to be a paranormal story time. I have multiple of these. This one's going to be a collection of like mini stories that happened in my old house specifically. I have a couple of these that I'm planning on putting out. I'm super excited, and yeah. If you guys have been watching my YouTube videos for a while or subscribed to my channel for a while, first off, thank you, because it's been a struggle. It's been a crazy ride. Secondly, you would remember my old house and like my old background and all of that. All of the stories that I'm telling in this story time, I guess, all of these happened in that house. All are 100% real. I am a firm believer in the paranormal. I highly believe in it. I do ghost hunting and like sometimes in my free time if there's haunted places that I've heard about and stuff like that. I did it in my old house, which is a story we'll get to, but I am such a firm believer in spirits and ghosts and all of that stuff. So if you don't believe it, just, I guess, click off, because I don't need comments saying like, oh, it's not real, blah, 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 because the things that happened were 100% real. I put this on everything, like, these actually happened. So I guess we'll start with when we first moved to the house. We've lived there since 2012. So we've lived there for roughly 5.5 years. Almost 6. When we first moved there, you know, there wasn't really that much that happened, I guess because we were new and the spirit in the house wanted to get to know us, type of people we are, stuff like that. Oh, and my whole family, my dad doesn't really believe in the spirits and ghosts, but he hasn't really interacted with our spirit like me, my mom, and my brother have. We've all had interactions with it, so that's why we're firm believers in it. The first thing that we did start to notice though was in our kitchen we had like a little chandelier almost, and we had a dimmer for it so you could control how bright the lights were. And when we did that, if it was above like the halfway mark, our lights would flicker. And you know, at first we were like, oh, it's just like an electrical thing, whatever. But it wouldn't happen every single time. It'd be a select few of times. Like sometimes it would happen all these times in a row. Sometimes it wouldn't happen at all. We'd go days without it happening. We started to joke about it and we're like, oh, we have a ghost in our house. Well, when we really started to believe that was we have people come over, like friends, family, they would come visit and we would start talking about it. And the lights would be fine. Nothing would be happening. They'd be like the lights are now, like not flickering, nothing going on. Then when we started talking about it and telling our friends about it, the lights would automatically start to flicker and do exactly what we were telling them about. So that's when we kind of started to think, oh, like it's our ghost, he's just showing that he's here. And a lot of this is just the spirit showing their presence, not really harming us or doing anything. We were pretty cool with it. We coexisted. That was really like the first thing that we had noticed. So then the next two stories are what happened to my mom. She explained these to me in depth because me and her were the strongest believers in this spirit that was in our house. We believe it's a kid because, like I said, nothing was harming us, nothing was done to make us run out of the house. In fact, we were renting it and then we bought it, so nothing bad was happening. It was all pretty like chill and just like, boo, I'm here kind of thing. The first thing that happened to my mom was her and her friend were in her room because she had been over to our house like the first time, and she was just showing her around and they started talking and chit-chatting and all that. Her bathroom is connected to her room and her window's always open in the bathroom just to let the breeze in and all of that. And she heard, like they both started to hear a noise just randomly, and they were like, oh, that's weird. Mom was like, oh, maybe someone's just like mowing their lawn. Didn't think about it, but the sound kept going. It was a very constant sound. It wasn't like fading in and out as you would expect a lawnmower too, when you would push it, pull it, whatever. So she goes to the window and looks. There's nobody out there mowing their lawn. So she's kind of like, that's weird, whatever. But as she turns around, she sees that the faucet on her sink is turned on. And she was like, that's weird. And she told her friend, and her friend's like, no way. She's like, okay, we'll just see if it's like a little thing, like maybe it just started leaking or something like that. So just turn it a little bit, and if that's it, no big deal. So my mom does that, and she notices that she had to rotate it 2 complete times in order to turn the water off. So this wasn't like a random little leak or anything like that. Like someone or something had turned the water on full scale, full blast, whatever, and we're just letting it run. So that was the first thing that happened to my mom. The second one is a little funny. I always laugh when I tell this story or think about this story. One morning my mom got up and started getting ready for the day. Obviously, like when you wash your face, your eyes are shut. You don't see anything. But as she's washing her face, she feels a hand slide up her leg and just give her a little tap on the butt. And she thought it was just my dad, so she was just like, whatever, didn't think anything about it. Rinses off her face, dries it, and notices there's no one there. And she was like, oh, huh, that's weird. So then she walks out of the bathroom, and my dad just like walks into the room. And she jumps a little because she was like, whoa. And she asks him, and she was like, were you just up here? And he's like, no, I was downstairs like making our coffee. And she's like, no, like you were just in here, like you just tapped my butt when I was washing my face. And he's like, I was not. I was downstairs making coffee for us. And so there's, coupled with the fact that my mom had already had something happen in her bathroom, and then my dad being downstairs, like, I know it sounds like crazy, but from the time of her washing her face to drying it, my dad could not have run downstairs and then come back up, or even like walked out the stairs and come back up. Like, washing your face doesn't take that long. The next 3 stories all relate to me and my experiences and like my brother and stuff like that. So one time my grandparents came up to visit, and my grandparents and parents both went out to eat or do something, I don't even know. But basically it was me and my brother home alone. And my parents are very aware of like turning off the sink, faucet, lights, TVs, all of that type of stuff. Me and my brother had been in my room upstairs, and we were just hanging out, having a good time, and we decided, we were like, okay, we're a little thirsty, let's go downstairs, get a drink, get some snacks, and then continue what we're doing. I think we were filming a video, actually. So we decided to go downstairs and get a drink. When we go downstairs, there was nothing on. No lights, no TV, nothing. It was all like dark. But I heard a faucet on, like the sink faucet. And I look out in the kitchen, it's not on. So I go to the guest bathroom, and it's just on. Like the water's just running. And I turn it off, and kind of the same instance that happened with my mom's bathroom, it wasn't just a like, oh, little like thing, it was full on. Like the sink was full blast. So I was kind of just like, okay, that's weird, but didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, the ghost is just here. Well then, so I turned the sink off, completely off, and I was like, making sure it's not on or anything like that. So I go out to the living room, and like I said, everything was off. And my brother had been standing next to me because he got freaked out by the sink, and he was like, sis, what's going on? So he was sitting right next to me the whole time. So we go get our drinks, whatever. And as we're doing that, the TV just turns on by itself. We did not have a remote. The remotes were under the TV, like in the living room, the next room over, just turns on by itself. So I go turn off the TV, and we're like, all right, we're done. Let's go back upstairs, like to our room, whatever. And as we're going upstairs, we get to the base of the stairs, and the sink is back on. The sink that I had completely turned off and made sure was off had turned back on. So I don't even know. This next one is so, like, not intense, but it's just really the most experience I've had with the spirit in that house. One of my really good friends back home, her dad's a ghost hunter, does all the, like, experiments and, you know, like EVPs and digital, like, things. So my friend's dad was in this team, and they decided to go explore the Stanley Hotel. And my friend goes with them this time. And apparently they do all these tests, whatever. Well, they do this one where there's one person sitting in the room, and they're blindfolded and have noise-canceling headphones on. But you're playing static, so you put on like an AM station on the radio. So they just hear static, and they don't see anyone. They can't see or hear anything except for this static. And that's supposed to be a way for the spirits to communicate, because the people around them, if they can't see or hear anything, the people around them just ask questions, and then the spirit communicates through the static. The person relays the message. And so my friend tells me about this, and I was like, dude, that'd be so cool to do in our house, because, you know, she's experienced it too and knows about all the stories and all of that. We decide to do that, but she wasn't with us. So we get some beats, put them on, hook it up to this little radio that we have in our living room. and my brothers and his friends are sitting here asking me the questions, and I have the headphones on. I can't see anything. I don't hear what they're asking me. I'm just hearing the static. And I had kept getting words like yes, no, kind of, stuff like that, like really basic one-word answers. I wish I remembered more, but I do remember the very last thing that they had asked. I remember hearing something in the static that said, "Oh my god, yes." Like, just relieved and just like, yes, like making sure I got that message out. So I take off the headphones because they tap my shoulder. I was like, hey, if like it gets too much or if there's something wrong, like if something comes out of my mouth, whatever, just tap me, bring me back. So I take off the headphones and I was like, what was that last question that y'all asked? Like, what was it? And they were like, we asked if he was annoyed by us. And I was just like, well, guess we're not doing that. There were a lot of other questions, basically like, I don't even remember. I just remember that last one because it was so funny and I was like, okay, we're done, we're not doing this. I got the sense that it was an older man, which was weird considering the fact that we had all thought it was this young little kid, but I promise on everything they were asking questions and I was saying responses to them that I literally could not hear what they were saying, but I was still like speaking to them as it, like I was answering their questions. So the last story actually happened this summer when I went home, but it's pretty short, so don't worry. But basically, I was in the shower and I was just showering. All of a sudden, I hear something fall, and I was like, oh, maybe I hit something like the conditioner or something like that. So I obviously checked the bottom of the bathtub. There's nothing there. So I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I look out of one side of the curtain, there's nothing on like the left side of the curtain that had fallen. And then I look out of the right side, there was a broom that we keep in the little like closet that we have. And it fell over. Like the broom was on the ground, the dustpan has like a large handle. We got it from IKEA, so maybe you know, I'll insert a picture like right here of what it looks like. But it had all fallen over. Like the dustpan was on the ground, the broom was on the ground. Obviously, I was the only one in the bathroom. My animals weren't in there because sometimes the animals get in the door or whatever. But the animals weren't in there. There was nothing that was like blowing things over. Sometimes we had the window open, but it was like shut. That wasn't open. The air wasn't even on. And so this thing just fell over. I was like, okay, let me just like finish showering and get out of here. Well then, as soon as I put my head back in and start like finish showering, I get a burst of cold air. Like I started shivering because I was so cold. And I like my showers hot and steamy. Like I like it to borderline be boiling my skin. So for me to get cold, and you know what they say, like when ghosts are present or when spirits are present, the temperature tends to drop. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This spirit is here with me and they're in the shower. They're just trying to like mess with me and whatever. But yes, so the ghost took a shower with me. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that went down in my old house. We think it was just one of the spirits that was like messing with us, trying to make itself present and things like that. Like it wasn't a bad spirit. It wasn't a demon. So but yes, that is the end of the video. I have 2 more that I plan on putting out, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see those, stay tuned and subscribe to my channel and turn on that little notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!